Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. You know, it's Monday. But this Monday, I'm going to tell you a story of the most incredible chicken survival tale of all times. If you saw my last video, you saw Cider came home. But let's talk about how she got to where she was. Thursday morning, I had an early morning appointment. So I was in the car and I kept forgetting stuff. So I kept running back and forth to the house, and Cider followed me back and forth, grumbling all the way because she wanted her peanuts. And I didn't have time to do the peanut dance, which is something that she absolutely loves. And if you go down and go into my videos and look at chickens and peanuts, you'll see Cider doing the peanut dance with me. So anyway, she was aggravating me, and I was like, Cider, you need to get out of my way, because she stops right in front of me and grumbles at me and looks at me like, this is what you need to do. So Cider is extremely vocal. She is extremely personable. She's extremely smart. I mean, just a smarty pants. But she lived in here for months. I would leave the gate open when the girls were in their crates, and she would come out and lay on that carpet in front of the door and sun herself, or she'd come into the living room and get on my leg while I was on the computer. You know, just a fun bird. And then my husband says, she needs to move out, and I was like, yeah, I know. So then I took Pumpkin and put those two in the breeder barn for the winter, and then, you know, they assimilated that spring. So Thursday, while I was in the car getting ready to leave, I did see a German Shepherd in the driveway of the neighbor. I did see a man with that German Shepherd that looks like the guy who raises German Shepherds that sold a shepherd to that neighbor several years ago. So there was no alarm. There was no warning. There was no alert. I had no signals that things were going to go bad. Okay. So I had a couple of appointments, and I think I had to go to the grocery store. I mean, I did a bunch of stuff on Thursday, and I got home about 1:30 in the afternoon. 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, I get a call from the neighbor talking about my chickens being attacked. Why did he not call me when I got home? Why did not call me an hour after I got home? 2 hours after I got home? 3 hours after I got home? So that's when I hung up on him and started running. And that's when I found the little black girl hurt in the cabana coop. So I snatched her up, put medicine on her, got her situated in a safe spot in the barn. And then I went walking looking for Cider, because I knew it was her. I knew she was gone because she would be right there. Why didn't I realize it? I don't know. I had stuff to do, and sometimes she's a later. I don't know. I don't know why it didn't dawn on me that there was an issue. Because normally Tut will let me know when he sees me, and he gets frantic if something has happened. Um, Tut is extremely smart too. So I know people say, oh, chickens are not smart. Some are extremely smart, and I'm going to tell you Cider's story. So anyway, after I found the girl, got her situated, I started walking looking for Cider, and I found 3 piles of cider in the neighbor's yard. There's no way that a bird would survive that, especially with a German Shepherd's jaw is um, by the inch one of the strongest. And they'll say, well, pit bulls. Okay, well, we're talking about the length, and the shepherds are just, they have a good grab. And I just know my girl's gone. And I've been mourning her since Thursday afternoon, Friday, Saturday, all day Sunday, until I got the knock on the door. I go outside and I'm like, can I help you? And he's like, are you missing a chicken? And I wasn't sure. I mean, that was very confusing to me because I had already accepted that she was gone. Did another one get somewhere? Do I have a black one that I, because I have a lot of young black girls, and it's very hard for me to figure out where everybody is. And I said, well, I said I had a dog attack here Thursday, and I'm not sure. And then he described her as a golden chicken with black feathering. And I said, that's Cider. He said, I have an extra bird in my coop, and she's injured, but she's okay. He just wanted to find out whose chicken it was. This man's farm is a mile away. A mile away. And this bird had to fly over an 8-foot coop fence to get in with his chickens. Here's where the story of trying to figure out what was going through her mind as a chicken. She was attacked here. The dog had her and run off with her. And when there was a release, she got away. And she found a place to go that was safe, where there were other chickens that were safe. But her hurdle was 8 foot. There was a fence. And she hopped that hurdle. She flew over an 8-foot fence after being attacked and carried and mauled to preserve her life. That's a tenacious and very intelligent bird. And there is no other bird like her. And that's why it was so devastating to me. Not only is she perfect in every physical way for my breeding program, but she is a smart, calculating bird that was raised in my bathroom as a pet. And she has survived. I'm getting ready to go feed her some special foods right now, check on everybody. I had to put Raw up because as soon as I brought her in the barn, he wanted to get right on top of her. I just grabbed him by his neck and I just picked him up and like, not today. And those two guys were like, those two guys were absolutely such gentlemen. I remember when one of them was a young boy. Good looking kid, turned out to be a pretty good looking guy. I mean, I'm just saying, if I was someone else, I'd probably go for it because he's very good looking and very polite. And they were both very gentle with me. They didn't push me. They let me take my time to get her out of the camp. They walked through the mud to get her to the barn. I was like, boys, it's muddy. And they're like, we don't care. We'll help you. We're here. And so I had my medication right there because of the other bird being medicated. So I just took her out of the crate they had. I sprayed her down. I put her in a spot. And of course, Raw, he hopped down off his perch. I wasn't even paying attention to it. And he went right on in there and was on top of her. And that's when I grabbed him by his neck and just picked him up and put him in another stall. So I am keeping him isolated right now just so that he don't aggravate her. But Cider is home. Cider survived. And this is a survival story to tell. The most tenacious chicken that I've ever had. The preservation to survive an attack that she survived. When you see if you would have seen the pile of feathers, there's no way, the 3 piles of feathers, that you would ever think that this bird would survive. So I need to go feed her and take care of her right now. I do want to do a candling video. I want to get all of these eggs checked. I want to pull what's not. I know there's one unfertile one in there because I'd already checked. Now I do want to, on April Fool's Day when I did the quick check and I dropped the egg, that was not one of these eggs. That was just another egg and I just scooped it up and fed it to the girls. So I didn't harm anyone. It was an April Fool's joke, but you know. That's how it goes. Y'all have a great day. Hugs from a distance. I need to go check on Cider and take care of her needs. We've got a lot to do because the temperature is going down. We're back into winter again. That's how it goes. Y'all have a great day. Hugs from a distance. And when someone tells you that all chickens are stupid, tell them the story of Cider. Bye, y'all.